What's up, dudes? Ladies, men, whoever the hell tunes in to watch a random person do a race. Do some practice, actually. Not even like a race. Alright, guys. So, some developments that have come up. Developments. Like it's something grand. So last night I did a practice session, and it wouldn't say that it was awful, but it didn't go as I was hoping. I was really frustrated with my pace. I was annoyed at a few things, and for me, racing annoyed and frustrated is like bad combo, like bad. So needless to say, I wasn't doing my best. Going back and looking at my previous times and stuff, I really wasn't that far off. Like my fastest, I was like a second and a half, which obviously could be better, but like it wasn't. I feel like in the moment, it felt like I was like 4 or 5 seconds off, which would be worse. And then once I feel frustrated and annoyed, and I start trying to really grasp that time, it makes it so I actually do far worse. Woo. And I start losing it, and then I started getting off tracks, and then I got more frustrated, and then I ended up hitting the car. Anyway, all to say that I think I had slightly overreacted last night, and my pace was not as far off as I had felt. Still not exactly where I wanted it to be, but that being said, the biggest red... Like, what the fuck are you doing?
You've got wheel damage.
Like, what? Vincent, you're an idiot. Just felt like that one deserved a little bit of a shout out. Vincent, my guy, if for some random reason you see this, you're an idiot. Look at your deltas, look at your, look at where people are. Look at your relatives, not your deltas. Look at your relatives, because that was stupid. Anyway, what was I saying? We got cars coming behind us too. Anyway, my pace was not as awful as I thought. I overreacted a little bit, and then when oh my god! Jesus. It's okay. I overreacted a little bit. Then when I start to overreact, I start to push too hard, and I'm frustrated, and when I start pushing too hard or I'm frustrated, especially if I'm racing frustrated, I don't race well. I start making mistakes, consistency goes out the window, and so does my safety, which nobody wants. And especially for an endurance race, the biggest thing I'm working on tonight, which isn't helped by the fact that I already T-boned a car and spun, is that I need to work on my safety. I need to work on my consistency and just make sure that I'm not binning it, because in talking with the team a little bit, chatting in Discord, because I don't really talk to them, because they're in way different time zones than I am. Chatting with them and stuff, the pace that we're searching for, we have a few people that are faster than me that have been racing this track way more, and have done tons of NEC races and stuff, and they have a few seconds on me for sure. But one of the things that they for sure have is safety. So there's already going to be a few people that are faster than me, which doesn't surprise me. I haven't ever really thought like I'm going to be the fastest one on my team. That's never been. I'd like to be quick, but I'm realistic. I know that I'm not some prodigy sim racer And odds are there's going to be a lot of people that are faster than me. And there are. And there are lots of people that are way faster than the people in my team. So it's not necessarily about that as much, but I do need to work on keeping the off tracks to a minimum and making sure I'm not bending it. So if I'm hitting 817, like a low 817, low to mid, that's where I'm kind of hoping that I can be consistently for the most part. My fastest time is really just under 816. I thought I had it down to like 14, kind of on almost on 13, but I have it not clean at least. So I don't have the craziest pace ever. So if you don't have pace, what's one thing that you can bring to the team? Well, consistency and safety. Because if I'm not the fastest and I'm not bringing blistering pace, the best thing I can do for the team is to not cause unforced errors and to relieve stress from the team in other ways. Because if I can let Martin, Colin, or Oliver have a bigger gap of off tracks, I should let them use the off tracks because that's where they'll actually gain time. Right? If they're pushing really hard and they're running 3 or 4 seconds faster than me, then the odds are is that I should let them have the off tracks, not me, because I'm not gaining lots of time or anything by getting the off tracks. If that makes sense. It makes sense in my head. Hopefully I didn't describe that as like an idiot. So my goal for tonight is to be as clean as I can, and if I'm a lap slower, then so be it, because I am not going to be the one that sets the crazy pace. It's just not going to happen. Not this time, not this go around, not with this being my first like introduction to the Norge life. And not only just the track, but the car. I've never really gelled well with this car. I am significantly faster and better at this car than I was when I started the first time I ran the Porsche. But I'm not naive in saying that I have a ways to go if I'm going to be competitive in racing the Porsche. So that is my thoughts. Biggest thing is just to be as clean as possible. So 6 incidence points. 1 for T-boning the shit out of Vincent because he's an idiot and backed onto the track, and 2 for a spin while I was getting started again. So like I said, my goal is not to be blistering fast. My goal is to hit things with consistency, not taking lots of risk. Because I need to give the risk taking to those who can capitalize on it more. And if they don't have to worry about incidence points, because I don't get many, well then that lets them have the freedom to push a little bit more than them having to rein their pace back in because I can't keep it on the track. So that is the goal, that is the hope. And the biggest thing that I need to remember is that this is supposed to be fun. I think I lose sight of that sometimes because I'm a very competitive person, and I don't really like to lose, and I don't think it's necessarily like losing when it comes to this in sim racing. It's not losing that makes me irritable or like frustrated. It's the fact that I'm not competitive. And I need to just forget about that a little bit. Still do my best. Like I still want to push. I'm still going to push and have fun and do my best. I'm not just going to really lay off the pace and drive like grandma and grandpa, but I'm going to try to rein back in my risk taking. And just make sure that I'm hitting clean and consistent laps, because ultimately that's always been my Achilles heel in sim racing so far, is consistency. On some tracks I can hit a hot lap and I can be competitive, at least in like my iRating. Alright, like I can be competitive with people around me, and my iRating's not great, so I'm not, like I said, I know that I'm not like some sort of prodigy, but I can have fun and I can be competitive. But I lack the consistency to hit like a good qualifying lap, to hit all of the laps super consistent times. You know, I'll race a race and all of a sudden I have one lap that I'm 3/4 faster on. The next lap I'll be a 1.5 seconds slower. The next lap I'll set my fastest lap by a second. The next lap is 1/4 second from that. The next lap's 5 or half a second from. Like I'm just not consistent. So that is going to be my biggest change that I need to fix. I forgot to put the chat box up. Not that I think that there's anybody super watching right now, but you know, just in case. So if you do chat in or anything and I don't respond, that's why. On the next lap on the straight, I'll try and see if I can pop it on there. But yeah, in general, that's just the goal for tonight. It's just consistency. I always miss my braking point here because I get distracted. I miss that first marker all the time. And I suck at hairpins in general. I'm absolutely god-awful at them. Spa. Just anything that has a really tight hairpin, I lose time. I suck at it. So it doesn't surprise me that I suck at that turn, but I know that I lose a lot of time. And if I can get it to be a little bit better, then I will gain lots of time, and that's easy time to gain. Easy, easy. Another thing that I have come to, I guess, kind of realize is that I thought that this one we were going to be dealing with traffic, and I was finally going to be like in the faster series, or in the faster class. Keep it on. Which I technically still will be, but with how, I don't think our iRating's awful. I think we're in 6th, like all of us combined it's 1600 or something like that, which my iRating is a fair bit lower than it should be, quote unquote, and I know that everybody says that, but I've had some really bad races in the gaps between the endurance races, so I have lost a lot of iRating, which doesn't help our average at all. But in our iRating, I don't think we're going to have a lot of multi-class racing, because obviously there's less people who are going to run the TRC or whatever, and the GT4s and the Porsche Cups. There's way less people that are going to race any of those series than the GT3s, and there's not as many people racing them as you go down the list of series or classes, so odds are that there's going to be lots of people left to actually run in the splits that we're in isn't going to be overly high, which is unfortunate because I was looking forward to, you know, trying to get past and just navigating traffic on the faster side of things instead of being the slower one. Sounds like it would be fun. An interesting new challenge, but I would be surprised if we have a lot of other cars other than GT3s. Probably some Porsche Cups, maybe some GT4s, but not anything that is crazy. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Still very excited, still gonna be fun. I did watch one, what is it, the Coach Dave Academy. There's one guy that did like a little you know, Nurburgring 24 hours guide, which he actually had some few interesting things to say, which he just was, one of his main things was saying that, you know, you don't really need to pass people to some degree. Like if they're substantially slower than you in things, like you need to get by them. But also on the Nordschleife in this 24-hour race there's a lot more of risk and reward, because like at Bathurst, for instance, like you can have an incident and things, but like the tow back and things will be much less severe. Ooh, got a little squirrely there. The tow back isn't as bad. The damages can usually be really rough, but on the Nordschleife it can be even rougher. And so, do you really want to risk your race by trying to gain a spot in a weird place? Like, the walls are so close, everything's so tight, the track is twisty and turny, and you have to kind of be trusting the other person. And he's put it like, if you were in a top split and things, sure, making passes is much, I wouldn't say easier, because I don't think that he meant easier, but I think it's easier to trust your racers and know, like, hey, they clearly know I'm faster than them, they will let me by, or something like that. Or like, I've clearly lost this, it's not worth it, where in the lower splits, it's going to be harder to come by. People are not going to just let you go by, and they're going to fight for stupid things and stuff. So it's best to, I think it was this straight, obviously, and the back straight, where he was like, you know, like, yeah, you can try and pass there, but overall, like, don't try and put a pass through here, because if you both get hit, and he showed like 3 or 4 clips of cars coming together right there, and every time I think both cars got spun. There wasn't a single incident where he, and obviously like bias, he showed the clips, like he got the clips to fit what he was trying to say, but just that it's not worth it. You tap somebody, you both lose tons of race time. If you stick behind them and you're patient, odds are that they'll probably make a little bit of a mistake, then you can capitalize on it. Woo! Speaking of mistakes, you know, and you can capitalize on it, and then you can go from there, instead of trying to force something and then getting both of you in trouble, hitting the wall, and then having 10 minutes in the pits after you had 5 minutes of tow. He's like, now you've lost 10-15 minutes versus losing 3 seconds behind a car. He's like, you could lose 3 seconds behind a car for a whole stint, and you still would come out ahead, rather than you bending it into the wall or spinning. And I was like, damn, you know? That is definitely true. We're definitely not racing a sprint, and I know that people are like, well, you're an idiot. Duh, that's the whole point of this, is, and this whole series I've been doing is that it's an endurance event, but I think sometimes I still forget that patience is key, and safety is key, and consistency, and if you're just safer and more consistent than cars ahead of you, odds are you'll beat them, especially when it's a 12 or 24-hour race. Like, that's not a small, it's not a short race. So anyway, that's my little soapbox on some of that stuff that I'm going to try and work on, that I have thought about and talked about a little bit. Ah. There's the chat, so if anybody wants to say anything in the digital world, I can actually see it now. Close that. So anyway, that's my rant. That's my soapbox a little bit. I'm gonna just focus on safety. something stupid. And I was wondering why that Zachary guy just like took off and then he's second place. And an 825 will not cut it. But I've been chatting, I've been doing a lot more talking than I usually do. That's one thing too, is that I would like to be able to, during this race, be able to chat a little bit. Obviously I know I'm not pulling in huge numbers for the stream, but I am planning on streaming all of it. So even though I will not be racing obviously the first like half of the race, my goal is to have it on stream so that people can keep an eye on the progress, as well as some of our drivers being able to keep up with what's going on in the race without just sitting by their computer the whole time. Bad turn, bad turn. Anyway, so that is it for that little soapbox. Super excited for this race. It's going to be a ton of fun. Talking a little bit. So a few things that I noticed that I was missing when I went back and watched my stream for a second is that I'm not trail braking enough into the corners, and I'm also not getting on the gas.
Car stop on the right. Go left.
Also not getting onto the gas as early as I have in other bouts on this track. Some of the things that I've been learning to do more in the car, in the Porsche, is I need to make sure that I get on that gas a little bit quicker. Rather than waiting for just a split second out of corners, you need to just... Bad corner, safety. But I just need to focus on getting that power down just a little bit earlier. It's what I'm working on. A little bit more trail brake, a little more conversation, a little more action. Kind of held it out there, but again, just try and keep it clean. I don't need to be getting off tracks. No off tracks for me. If you're just watching this stream, I think the first two corners I had somebody that backed onto the track and I T-boned them, which gave me a ×4, and then I had a little spin coming out of that while I was trying to describe things to my non-existent viewers. So, womp womp. So I have 6 innocent points so far. The goal of this practice session is to be clean. Clean, and if I can, somewhat consistent, but clean is the main thing. I need to be clean and stay off the off tracks. Stay out of the barriers. Run clean stint. My pace definitely sucks right now, but I know that. And it doesn't overly surprise me, but I'm also again, just trying to make sure that my priority is getting things to be safe. Up on a car, I've been gaining pretty heavily on them.
You got a slow car on the right. Car stops on the right.
Oh.
Go left.
Like that coming through the carousel. That's not a real... That was weird. I've never had that call out in the carousel. So that was good to know that that's kind of how the car will react when you hit the brakes a little bit more in the carousel. Did not mean to be in fifth there. Need to stop touching that curb. That one is gonna bite me. Hasn't really bit me yet, which means it's waiting for the race. I don't want that. Get that evil away from me, Ricky Bobby. So another thing that I'm working towards is my upgrade wish list. So let me know if you guys have any comments or anything, or if you guys have simmed race, or what you think is the best upgrade pathway, I guess you could say. My plan is to upgrade my pedals first, followed probably by a cockpit. I hit the brakes so hard there. Because from what I've gathered, and again, let me know if anybody is watching, is that you can get load cell pedals. Okay, load cell pedals will actually seem to have a benefit of actual pace. You can hit your braking zones more, you can be more on the edge with your braking. There's a reason competitively, quotation, to get a load cell brake system. So there's a reason to do that. And then the cockpit, the theory is that if I were to upgrade my wheel, not that my wheel stand sucks, but I'm doing, what is this, the race line light, whatever? Nothing fancy by any stretch. But that this isn't, you wouldn't be able to gain all of the reasons to upgrade your wheelbase. It's not that big of a difference because you don't actually have something sturdy enough to feel all the changes. So I will need to upgrade that next, and then the next thing would be the wheelbase. And then everything from there. But that is my tentative upgrade pathway that I'm looking at. So we are going to see how that ends up going. Don't have stupid amounts of money to throw around to things, so it's going to take me a while to get all of it, obviously. It's taken me a long time to get to the setup I am in now. Which, it's not that I'm unhappy necessarily with it, but I think I think I've outgrown the Logitech wheelbase. I think I would be excited to have better pedals. That just give me a little more, immersion, but there's a chance that you get a better competitive edge too. I'm all down with that. So that's my first thought there. Mr. Tyler up here is 5 seconds ahead of us. A little bit there. Nothing crazy. We're comfortable now. I feel like this is going to be what happens in the actual race. It's going to take 3 or 4 laps for me to kind of, you know, make sure you get some of the jitters out of the way. Whoa, too much. Lose time going down the hill. But just it's going to take that long for me to make sure that, hey, I'm not going to bin it. Tires are warm. I've got my handle on the track a little bit more. And then I can start really dropping it in. So when I race my stints, I'm going to be racing a double stint, followed by an hour break, then another double stint, followed by an hour break, followed by a single stint. I'm hoping that I get some good consistency, and I'll just be able to stay kind of warm and in the pocket a little bit. And then if there's a chance that other people, you know, have a scheduling conflict, something in the real world comes up, or, you know, they have a really awful few stints and they just want to call it, anything like that, I have made myself available the whole day so that I can take on any additional racing requirements that are needed. Me and one of our other drivers are pretty much open the whole day. So that should be fun. I'm excited. It's going to be a good race. Good race. Probably going to not talk quite as much the next little bit, just because I'm going to focus on trying to get some lap times in. As well as keeping him just trying to be a little bit more aggressive on the track. I guess that's true. I had that really big slowdown because the car came off last lap, so that's why it was a 23. Safety, safety, safety. Safety, safety, safety. Remember to turn in slightly later on that corner. slightly later on that corner. I think I'll gain a fair bit of time. If I do a little lift there, I find that the nose doesn't seem to just jump up on me because I've had a few scary bumps on that. That are not ideal. Need to not tap the brake there. I do that little tap and that just sucks time from me. Yeah, so this time should be more where I kind of thought I was going to be. I had one big slow down spot for the car last lap in the carousel, and then a few other not clean parts, so this is much more representative lap. I will take it. Just need to be consistent with it and not bin the car. See where that puts us.
That was your fastest lap of the session.
No, take that. It's alright. Maybe if I take that one in second? Oh, that lovely time that I gathered on the first two corners I squandered instantly. It's all good. Too early on the gas. I've seen people jump on that curb. When I jump on that curb, it feels unsettled, and then I can't seem to get the car to cut in as well. I think there's some time to be gained, but I also don't think that now is the time for me to be trying a whole bunch of new driving lines and things. 18.9. Awful exit. I need to slow down more. I'm trying to push that corner way harder for some reason. And I lose time on this straight. So I think if I just take things a little more chill, obviously. Lost all that time on that other straight. need to turn on the graphics or something. It seems a little choppy to me, and I don't know why. Phew! Definitely not a clean lap. That was a scruffy one. Terrible braking point. Something like that. That's where I just need to be more consistent. Don't push it. Why am I trying to like push to the last second on that braking point? I suck at that braking point on a good day. Why am I trying to hit it faster on a practice day? Like, just need to. Well, and you know that's like just not the. That's not what this is about. That's not what this session is about. This session is about being clean and. And I have been. Super stoked about that. Sorry, that car threw me off. Why is there a car there? What is that car doing there? That like I've never seen a like why is it parked there? Who I think I did well to mitigate anything. So I mean, if anybody was watching, my heart was pounding a little bit and just kind of trying to figure things out. If you could you put in the chat if there's any, if he said any damage? I don't think I heard him say any damage. That car really rattled me. That was different. Oh man. Yeah, didn't like that. Yeah, if you were on the stream or anything and you saw that last bit, or if you're on it, rewind it for just 30 seconds ago and see what that he said I had any car damage, because I don't think he did. It threw me off because I thought he was like off in the dirt, but then he kind of looked like he was pointing towards the track, so I feel like I kind of was like, is he gonna come onto the track? And then I hit the brakes too much, and then it just, and then bye bye birdie. But It's all good. We're gonna... Shit like that can happen in the race, so we're gonna take a deep breath, lock back in, hit a good lap. That one felt a little better. Let's see if we can dispatch this car. Kanji.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Just what I needed, a blinking car. Trying to set a decent lap here. I don't know where we went. Lynn is 19 seconds ahead. I'm trying to make it a little bit of a habit to check my relatives before heading into more of a tricky section. Just so that way I know if there's somebody that was an awful corner. Just that way I know if there's anybody in the section that I need to be aware of. Clearly he's probably going to be fairly fast because, man, I haven't hit that section clean in 2 laps now. Okay. We got this. Most of that time loss I had in that section was due to me missing the first part of it. There we go. Like, if I lose a little bit of time there, at least I don't want to be just hemorrhaging time down the straight. Because then you have a little bit more time to like think about what you did. You fucked up that start, so you're gonna bleed time. And if you just slow down more at the beginning than, you know, it is what it is. Just slower off the start. So I think I'm gonna have one more lap in here. They all nice. You need to stay away from those freaking curbs. When I did Google, which I did, my lap times. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Shouldn't have said anything, Caster's curse. Anyway, when I did Google my, like, what's a good lap time, it did say anything under, like, 8:20 is considered fast, which made me feel better because who doesn't want to be called fast? Dude, I hammered so much time in that section. It's fine though. It's fine. Need to work on that one. I gotta brake a little bit harder. Is the guy still in the wall? No, he's not yet. Woo! So, I'm not considered slow, even with the 118 or the 818. It's not technically like a slow lap time. Like, it's competitive for a mid-split, which is where we're gonna be. Trust the process a little bit. Whew. See if that keeps me better speed down the whole straight. Anyway, so like my speed's not awful, right? And I'm proving tonight to my own ego that I can be and I can be safe. I can be safe. Not overly consistent yet, but I can be safe. Which is the biggest thing with it. That is by far the biggest thing. Is just being able to hit these laps consistently, or not consistently, safely, is like a huge breath of fresh air for me. It's been a little bit since I hit a decent amount of laps and things on this without a big incident, and so. So I'll take it. I'm happy with this. This is a good practice session for me. Good practice session for me so far. Stick it on. Woo! See, so now that I can do this, oh damn! Tomorrow's the last night. And tomorrow night, I need to work on pushing the car a little bit more, and not Not pushing it in like a crazy way of like going crazy fast and really punching for lap time, but I think there's lap time in the fact that I just need to be a little more aggressive with the car. And that's not me saying that I need to push crazy hard or anything. I just need to like brake a little bit harder. Because it's the same thing with this Porsche car that I've always been like scared of hitting the brakes really hard, scared of really manipulating the car, and I need to get better at that. Tap the brakes just a little bit to give me a little insurance policy, because the last 2 laps I've absolutely bled time through here, so. So that was good. Gilberto is 15 seconds ahead. A little bit of time there, that's okay. Oh no, I'm almost out of fuel! Turn in a little bit later there. Whew. That one felt better. Not good. Not the worst, not the best. Emerson looks like he had an issue up ahead. Emerson is having issues. I hate that corner so much. Because you really have to just like trust that the car's gonna stick. You're like, well shit, here we go. Because if you commit to it and you don't, and you miss that little bit, you hit the grass, whack, you're into the wall, damaged, you have this long straight, you have to hobble it, but it's just an absolute nightmare. Miss it, and you got this huge straight that you just watch your time go doo, 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 doo. Just awful. Hate that corner. There we go. And I'm finishing this lap, 1, because it's fast, 2, that's all I got time for tonight. But we're going to end that on a hell of a good note. There we go. There we go. And yes, I know that the time is not crazy fast. I know. The biggest thing for me is that that was clean stint. Clean. Okay, I had that one little moment where I spun. Not ideal, but no car damage. No car damage, as far as I could tell. That was the previous lap. Right, is that lap 4 then? That was lap 4, so let's go on lap 4. But no car damage on that one. And I kept everything clean. I got back into it. Let's see, yeah, because right here, I see Homeboy, and I'm thinking he's going to come back onto the track. Now, he's not moving, but yeah, I overthought it. I braked too hard. I was able to really keep it off the wall for the most part. Let's definitely had maybe a little bit of bumper damage, front end damage. But really? In a spin. It's not ideal. Let's actually, like... Is this a spawn point? This is a spawn point! What the fuck? What the hell? So if you just let your car sit, you will heal and teleport back onto the track at a different point. Oh yeah, he got squirrely there. Yep. Oh no. Oh no. No, Cameron. Oh no. Rearing's gone. Nope, we're good. We're good. That wasn't even that bad. Yeah, he's definitely crunched though. So if you wait, do you spawn back here? I would doubt that works in the 24-hour race, right? There's no way that they let you spawn here. Interesting. All right. Didn't know that. Oh. Damn. He's like, "Let's go again, guys. I just screwed up." He did exactly what I do, and you're like, "Yeah. Let's go." Little bump. Motherfuck. Well, that part's weird too, because you... Holy slidey. Jeepers me. Because you're not used to that being on cold tires at that point, no matter what. If you're on an outlap or anything, they're warm by then. Looks like he went on a rolling. So my fastest time if we pull it up, what is it? Is a 15.9. So that was me feeling it, feeling good, and hitting like a good lap. That was me feeling good on that lap. So odds are, there's my hand. Probably not gonna feel, well, there's a chance, but look at that optimal time. Look at that optimal time. If I could just hit it. It's in there. It's in me. But that's that's like the best that I have hit cleanly. And the emphasis for me, this is going to have to be being clean. The cleaner I am, the more incidence points it gives other drivers that have more pace than me to push. And I keep it out of the walls, keep it out of the pits, and we will gain oodles and oodles of time on everyone else. Because, I mean, this is the Nordschleife. You're going to have tons of pit stops. You're going to have tons of new drivers and cold tires and chances of people spinning. And if you can just keep it clean like we have in our other races, or we have attempted to, I mean, we start at the very back and you're in the top 5 if you just keep it clean. So, I'll take it. I will take it. Because that last lap was a hell of a lot faster than my 5th lap. And I feel like I was starting to get the hang of it. So if I hit another stint right now, if I had time and just hit it one more stint, I bet you I could be hitting the 18, like low 18s, 17s in lap 2. And then by then I'll drop it down and then I'll take a little hour break. It's going to be good. I'm going to be great. I'm excited. This made me take a deep breath that I hit a full stint without fucking up the car. That made me happy. So, stoked about that. That's what I am aiming for. So, anyway, it is time for me to bid you all adieu. I will see you tomorrow night for one more round of practice before the 24 hours of the Nürburgring starts. Early morning on Saturday for me. I will be racing in the evening for me. Probably early morning in the sim, as how things have worked out. I think I will be hitting about sunrise. I think in the sim. For me, it will be about 7. It'll be 6 or 7 o'clock at night for me, and by the time I'm done with my stints, it'll be 1 or 2 in the morning. So I'm stoked. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. If you watched it live, if you're watching it on YouTube as well, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to figure out how. I feel like I've been getting decent views on some of my videos, but I'm not getting any more subscribers. I'm not really sure why. I'm not trying to complain. I mean, I'm happy that I'm getting 50 views on videos. I am like, woo, that is awesome. But if you some reason got this far into watching my practice session on YouTube, let me know why you haven't subscribed. What makes you want to subscribe to a sim racing channel that I'm not doing that you did for other ones or anything like that? Because I don't know. I've tried to kind of do my own little thing. So not be the exact same as other channels. There's only so much you can kind of really change up in a way. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Be safe. Keep it clean. Remember who you are. Just kidding.